The sun slowly sank into the edge of the sky, bleeding warm gold and fading orange across the cracked, dusty streets of Karak. The air buzzed with life. Motorcycles thundered past, horns blared without mercy, and footsteps rushed in every direction as if the city itself was running out of time. In the middle of all that noise, a tiny figure stood still beside an old, rusted tea stall. A boy, no more than 10 years old, barefoot on the burning pavement, held onto a battered bicycle with chipped blue paint and bent spokes. His grip was tight, desperate, his eyes too tired. "Sir," he pleaded, his shaky voice nearly lost in the chaos. "Please. Mummy hasn't eaten in 2 days." People passed him like he was invisible. A few glanced his way, slowed for half a heartbeat, then looked away and moved on. But the boy didn't move. He stayed planted there, stubborn and fragile, like a small candle fighting the wind, refusing to go out. Before we go any further, take a moment to like, comment, and subscribe to Whispers of Kindness, because every story here is a reminder that kindness still survives, even in the darkest corners of the world, just a few blocks away. The Steel Soldier group of 4 devoted bikers had stopped after their usual weekend ride. Their leader, Adil, was a seasoned rider, tall and rough-looking, with scars that told stories and eyes that hid a deep, quiet softness. Beside him sat Imran, always cracking jokes, Saqib.com and reserved, and Rizwan, the newest member, still trying to find where he fit in. They weren't a gang, just friends who found freedom and peace on 2 wheels. They laughed over hot cups of chai, steam rising into the evening air, when a small, trembling voice drifted toward them through the noise. "By my bike, sir. Mummy hasn't eaten in 2 days." Adil froze mid-sip. His smile faded, his brow slowly creasing. Across the street, the boy stood clutching his little bike like it was the only thing keeping him alive. His face was streaked with dust, his clothes thin, torn, and worn down by hardship. Adil set his cup down and stood up. "Hey, kid," he called out gently. "Where's your mother?" Adil asked softly. The boy hesitated, eyes dropping to the ground. "Home, sir. She's sick. I just need money to buy her food. Please, sir, take my bike. I'll sell it cheap." Adil exchanged a slow glance with his friends. The bicycle in the boy's hands was barely worth a few ₹100, chain rusted, tires sagging with no air, paint peeling like old skin. And yet, the boy held it as if it were priceless. Imran forced a gentle smile. "Why sell it, champ? That's your ride, right?" The boy's lips trembled, his voice cracking. "Mummy said not to beg, so I thought I'd sell my bike. It's all I have left." Those words hit them harder than any punch. Something shifted in the air. Adil slowly crouched down, meeting the boy at eye level. "What's your name, Beta?" "It's Hamza," he whispered. They followed Hamza through narrow, winding alleys where broken walls leaned tiredly and forgotten lives hid behind cracked doors. The noise of the city faded until they stopped at a small, crumbling house. The door stood open. Inside, a frail woman lay on a thin mat, one hand resting weakly on her stomach. Hamza ran to her, his voice shaking. "Mommy, I found someone. Maybe they'll buy my bike. We can eat tonight." She opened her eyes slowly, tears filling them. "No, Hamza," she whispered. "I told you not to sell it." Adil knelt beside her. "Ma'am, are you okay? Do you need a doctor?" She tried to sit up, shaking her head. "I'll be fine. It's been hard since." Her voice broke. "Since my husband died, the room was painfully empty. No food, no fan, not even a chair. Just one framed photo on the cracked wall, a smiling man in a factory uniform, holding a baby. Hamza, without a word. Saqib stepped outside and returned moments later with bags of food and bottles of water from a nearby shop. Hamza's mother broke down in tears. She cried silently as they helped her eat, her hands shaking with every bite. Between mouthfuls, she began telling them a story that slowly drained the color from their faces. Her husband, Rashid, had worked at a local mechanical workshop, a place known for fixing luxury cars and high-end bikes. He was honest, hard-working, proud of his job. Then, one day, everything collapsed. A customer's expensive motorcycle was damaged while parked at the shop. Rashid wasn't responsible, but the owner, a powerful businessman named Khaled Zafar, accused him anyway. He shouted, humiliated him in front of everyone, and fired him on the spot. That wasn't enough. Khaled spread lies across the city. Within months, stress and hopelessness took his life. Since then, she and Hamza survived on small sewing jobs, barely earning enough to breathe till even that work disappeared. "We lost everything because of one man's lie," she said quietly. "Now I only pray my son gets one proper meal a day." The bikers sat frozen, the air heavy with anger and disbelief. Rizwan's fists clenched. "Khaled's, isn't that the guy who owns Zafar Motors?" he said. "The one bragging about his imported Ducati last week." Adil nodded slowly. "Yeah, that's him." A long, crushing silence followed. "Let's go pay him a visit." The next day, the steel soles tore through the city like rolling thunder. Their engines roared as they stopped outside Zafar Motors, a showroom gleaming like a palace of glass and steel. Luxury bikes lined the entrance, polished to perfection. Inside sat a man whose greed had shattered a family. Khaled Zafar looked up from his desk, wearing a confident smirk. "Can I help you, gentlemen?" Adil placed an old photograph on the desk Rashid's picture. "You already did," he said coldly. Khaled's smile faltered. Khaled chuckled, a cold, empty sound. "Ah, Rashid. That mechanic. He messed up a client's bike worth millions. He paid the price." "He didn't break it," Adil said, calm but firm. "Your security footage from that day, we have a copy. It was your nephew Joy who caused the damage. Rashid took the blame to protect your name." Khaled's confident smile froze. Adil leaned closer, his voice steady. "We're not here to threaten you. We're here to ask when. Will you fix what you broke?" Khaled's face flushed crimson. "No," Adil replied. "We're just making sure everyone else knows." He handed over a USB drive containing the footage obtained from a former employee. Within hours, the video was online. It spread across biker forums, news feeds, and social media like wildfire. By evening, Khaled Zafar's reputation lay in ruins. That night, the bikers returned to Hamza's home. But the first thing they brought wasn't just food, it was hope. They told Hamza's mother that her husband's name had been cleared, that justice had finally spoken for the voiceless, The next few days changed everything. Biker communities across the city rallied together, collecting donations to rebuild Hamza's home, provide his mother with proper sewing equipment, and ensure Hamza could return to school. For the first time in months, laughter returned to their small, once quiet home. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Whispers of Kindness. Because sometimes, a single act of compassion can rewrite someone's entire story. Weeks later, as the sun set once more over Karak, the Steel Souls gathered at the same old tea stall. Hamza rode up to them not on the chipped blue bicycle, but on a brand new, shiny one. He grinned shyly. "Uncle's a deal," he said, excitement bubbling in his voice. "Mummy made biryani today," she said. "You all have to come." Adil smiled, eyes glistening with unshed tears. "We wouldn't miss it for the world champ." The engines roared to life, but this time it wasn't just noise, it was a promise. A promise that kindness still burns brighter than cruelty. As Hamza's laughter echoed through the alleyways, it carried one simple truth: Whispers of Kindness will never stop telling their story.